when I did the little write-up for the newsletter, I'm just going to read you a little passage from that about what this morning is going to be all about, because I know not everyone sees that online or is signed up perhaps for our newsletter. If you want to fix that, just talk to someone at the bookstore and you can be sure that you get that weekly. Clay does a great job in getting that out for us. I happen to be rather passionate about Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, and about the whole philosophy of Science of Mind. And I know that sometimes it's easy to kind of get away from the basics, and Spirit just said, this is what you're going to do on Sunday, Helen. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you the Declaration of Principles. Now, to say what that's all about, I'm going to go over some basics. You know, it also occurred to me that sometimes, even if you've been coming quite a while, people say, well, what does Center for Spiritual Living teach? What's it all about? And I don't know if you have that quick and easy answer, but I know sometimes it's easy to kind of seize up, especially when you're new. Maybe you don't really have your head wrapped around it yet. And this is, with the Declaration of Principles, this is going to cover the absolute basics. And these were written by Ernest Holmes, our founder, founded religious science, which is now known as Centers for Spiritual Living. His book, which became the text, is called The Science of Mind, and it's right. Well, I put one right here, and then I realized there was something I needed to read out of the front of it, so I grabbed another smaller one to read up here. But and actually, we call that our text. It's our teaching text. And it actually wasn't really a book. It wasn't written as a book. It was a collection of all of his hundreds of lectures that he did, because he was an absolutely popular and in-demand speaker, motivational speaker, if you will, about spirit and about co-creating with spirit and about the oneness and beauty and God presence that you are. And he spoke from coast to coast, and he wrote the Science of Mind, well, let's say it was compiled, the Science of Mind text was compiled in 1926. Now, my first copy was hardbound, but mind you, this is not like an overnight read. It's not like a day at the beach, right? And I remember when I first, we're talking like 40 years ago, thought, well, I've got to get into the classes. So, and I bought the book, and so, you know, a few days before the class, I opened it up, and I'm like, oh, well, I won't say the word I use. I'm in trouble. Because frankly, I was a real virgin. I didn't know the word metaphysics. I didn't know talk about spirit and metaphysics and law of mind and all these phrases. They were all brand new to me. Thank goodness I had a marvelous teacher. Her name was Dr. Eleanor C. Jackson, and she was in Newport Beach, California. And some people called her the tambourine minister because she'd pull out her tambourine once in a while. And she was incredible. And still, it took a while to get through it all. But then after going through ministry, all the ministerial classes, practitioner first, then ministry and teaching, I've been through it so many times. It's not that I can quote you page and verse of anything, but at least it became so familiar and so comfortable. And I fell in love with Holmes's writing. It is called The Science of Mind because science, he looks at the science of it, the whole co-creative process, how this works. And also, just to let you know, even though it looks mind-blowing, fully the last third at least are meditations, beautiful meditations, and a very extensive glossary that helps you figure out those words you don't know yet when you're first perusing it. Excuse me, I gotta not do that into the mic. Anyway, so the following year after the text came out in 1927, they began to publish the Science of Mind magazine, and that is, right? Oh, tell me now. I just had it here. Thanks for modeling me looking for my key. Where's the little Grinch? I moved it twice, so it would be right where I needed it. Ta-da! Anyway, Science of Mind magazine, it's now published bi-monthly, so it has 2 issues. You turn it over, you have the second month there. And he first wrote these Declaration of Principles for the very first issue of the Science of Mind magazine. And I just wanted to show you that, and then I'll put it here because he was a prolific writer, and then there were a number of other books written about him and about his teachings and such. But just for some examples, if you aren't ready to dive into this just yet, he's got Creative Ideas, How to Change Your Life, a number of books that you could pick up that are less, but everyone is a gem, so you can't go wrong with any of them. So anyway, this Declaration of Principles is often referred to as what we believe, and you'll understand that as soon as I start to read it through. But I wanted to go through each statement and just address it a little bit and still keep us in time. So I also just wanted to mention that in his early years, he was a prolific reader as a young boy. And when he read Emerson's essays by Ralph Waldo Emerson, he was captivated and particularly attracted to the essay on self-reliance. And that just kind of jump-started his lifelong search, learning, which obviously became teaching, but he studied worldwide teachings on philosophy, religion, spirituality, also healing, and the nature and abilities and the opportunities and the interconnectedness of all life. And he saw that the major beliefs throughout the world had, once you stripped away what I would call the different customs, practices, prejudices, superstitions, at the very core, he found this harmony at the core of each and every one of them. And he found that they shared what he called a golden thread of truth. This centered on the belief that there is one universal spirit or universal mind that exists in and all around us, and that we can use it to bring about healing. We can use it to bring about healing and joy and fulfillment in our lives. And we can use it for that healing for ourselves and for others. So, what I'd like to do here, by the time we go through the Declaration of Principles, there are handouts. They're all written out, and you can pick one up on your way out this morning. And I feel that they're so comprehensive, and I find them touching because you really get a sense of who he is, his heart. He puts it out there. So we're going to go through those. And I wanted to just start with a couple little things that are right in the beginning of the text, right before the table of contents even. First, it just gives you an insight into his purpose. These lessons are dedicated to that truth which frees man from himself and sets him on the pathway of a new experience, which enables him to see through the mist to the eternal and changeless reality. Now, you will notice through all the books, they all say him and he, because that was the writing of the time. If you ever get a thought that he has any sort of gender inequity, let it go, because not a hint of it anywhere. Absolutely inclusive. And what I wanted to do to lead us into the Declaration of Principles is read a piece to you that it touches my heart every time, and it's called Peace Be Unto You, Stranger, also right at the beginning of the book. And if you think about it, you can feel the analogy. You're talking about, like welcome into my home, but it's about your heart. It's about your receptiveness. And I thought, I'm giving you something this morning to work with that you could take in and see how that might make you feel and how you might want to use it. So if you want to close your eyes or if you want to just relax comfortably, let me just share this with you. Peace be unto thee, stranger. Enter and be not afraid. I have left the gate open, and thou art welcome to my home. There's room in my house for all. I have swept the hearth and lighted the fire. The room is warm and cheerful, and you will find comfort and rest within. The table is laid, and the fruits of love are spread before thee. The wine is also here. It sparkles in the light. I have set a chair for you where the sunbeams dance through the shade. Sit and rest and refresh your soul. Eat of the fruit and drink of the wine. All is yours, and you are welcome. So again, Holmes wrote this Declaration of Principles in 1927 for the first issue of the Science of Mind magazine, and it has been published in every month edition for the last 98 years. And when I was putting this together, I realized we're almost 100 years old. We got to get busy planning some big celebrations. So we're going to start. There are 13 principles, I believe, if I counted them correctly. And each has some description. And I ran across one, I think it was on the website. It may have been on the Science of Mind website or one of the other centers. But they actually, before each statement, they put just a couple of words that was the nugget of what that was about, and then the expansion. So I just wrote them in. I didn't put them on your handout. I wanted you to have the pure copy. But I'm just going to mention it, and then I'll read that piece to you, and we'll talk about it for a moment. It'll be scooting through fast because I am going to finish on time. So first one, remember, this is all about what we believe, we being religious science, the science of mind, the Centers for Spiritual Living philosophies. One God. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe, all of it, the manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. So we believe there is one God, one eternal energy. You can call it Fred. You can call it, goddess. You can call it whatever you want. Spirit doesn't care what you call it. And many manifestations of that. So it doesn't matter, your spiritual philosophy, you may have different names for it. Certainly, we're in a big global community. Different faiths, different spiritual practices. But we believe in that one God from which all comes forth. Second one, everything is spirit. We believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. So many of us in our past, in our youth, and who knows how long of our lives, God was out there, up there, and we were little critters cruising around down here, trying to supplicate for good favor and trying to figure out ways that we eventually could get up there. But that's not where God resides. God, Spirit, that divine creative life, it resides everywhere, within every single one of us, even the ones you don't get along with, even the cranky ones, even the crazy ones. Spirit is existent in all of that. We just each all have our own path, our own challenges, our own bumps in the road, our own exhilarations and magnificence. That's just the things that we are coming upon in our lives. Everything is spirit. Next one. Personal immortality. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. So we come in, many of us believe, in soul form, spirit form. You choose when you're coming in, where you're coming in, who's going to be there, what family, what community, where you're going to be coming in. And some believe we already have our exit date coming in. I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm just saying it, makes sense to me. But we do also believe in free will. So we don't really believe anything's hard and fast for us. But the point is, it's eternal. and we're eternal because energy doesn't die. So these bodies of ours will wear out eventually. We never know when. But it's just like having a suit of clothing on. And when time comes, Spirit says, I don't need that anymore, releases itself, and all that's left is that suit, our bodysuit. So it's a beautiful thing when one starts to realize, recognize, and embrace this eternality and the immortality and the continuity of each individual soul. Heaven on earth. We believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. Heaven isn't that place out there. We believe heaven is in here, and it's what you make of it. Guess where is hell? If heaven's in here, where's hell? Yeah, guess what? It's in here too. And it's just all about choices, experiences, how we look at them. But we're carrying this around with us. It's like the word sin. Sin just means missing the mark, an old archer term. You missed the bullseye. Well, you better look at it differently this time. Sin is just a word that got created into something scary to try to keep people in line. Personally, I don't even use the word evil. I think that's a ridiculous word. I love the concept that if you look at it backwards, it's live or live. There's the way I look at it. So, personal freedom. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Can you even imagine a day, let alone a lifetime, going by that is absolutely free from all discord? Wow, doesn't that sound cool? And it's not boring. You can have fun drama. You can have predicaments. You can have learning opportunities. But do we really need discord tearing us apart, making a lot of noise, making a lot of damage? Maybe some people thrive on that. Maybe it's the adrenaline rush. Not for me. I love the idea that in my mind I can visualize that this from all discord of every nature can be attained by each and every one of us. We believe in the unity of all life. We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. Again, if you're getting some repetition, he's making a point very clearly from little different directions, one God, and that God exists within all and all around us. There's a personalness of God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. Are you ever, whether you're in prayer or treatment, or you're comforting someone in their grief or your own grief, or you're perplexed, and you sit and you breathe, and you either meditate or maybe you put some music on that takes you to that inner sanctuary that you have? Can you just feel that godness in there? Can you feel that comfort in there, that knowing suddenly maybe that bolt of courage that you need, that bolt of strength that can get you through that grief? That's the personalness of God, that indwelling presence. Personal revelation. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. Anyone, each and every one of you, each and every one of us, has it in us to be a revealer of truth. And it doesn't have to be on a mountainside with a gathering beneath you. It can be something you share with someone near and dear to you. It could be just a simple thought, just an idea, just a word of hope. Or literally, I'm sure in everyone's own way, they have had a moment of revelation, whether it's that idea that comes to you, that next step that comes to you. That's a revelation. That's a personal revelation. Universal law. We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, whatever his many names, her many names, its many names are, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it. And this is a core underneath spiritual mind treatment. We're declaring what it is we wish to manifest. We're declaring when we're supporting someone else and they're going through illness or physical challenge. We're not addressing taking that away. We're looking at the core of their spiritual perfection and calling their physical expression to come right back in alignment with their spiritual perfection. So that universal law, cause and effect, you can call it, like attracts like, it is a universal law. Healing. We believe in the healing of the sick through the power of this mind. Yes, we do. And again, for us, we can use that with others as well, for situations, for group problems, whatever may come up. And finally on that page, we have two more after this. Personal power. We believe in the control of conditions through the power of mind. Now, it's interesting. It took me a long time to realize I had a little bit of a control issue. And then I worked on letting that go. And then you go, okay, control and conditions. But to me, I see that as just being aware. And if something's going on that doesn't fit our consciousness, our desire, we know how to approach it, to look at it differently, to see what we can do and to change it, or to move around it, or step over it, or move through it. We believe in that control of conditions through the power of this mind. Goodness of God. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness to life, to all. Let me repeat that. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life, or of God, to all. Life is always for us. God is always for us. Wants nothing more than for us to live life and live it abundantly and joyfully and playfully and lovingly, forgivingly, all these wonderful things, in service, in goodness. And we believe that that is true. We believe in the eternal goodness of God. And finally, self-determination. We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny. For we understand that the life of all is God. We believe because we know we are that individualization of spirit. We believe in that. That is us. And whenever we start to lose track of that, I always want to remind people, that's a really good time to call someone, talk to someone, get someone, and even practitioners, even ministers. We find practitioners, we find prayer partners, because sometimes we're too hurt to come right back to that center and knowing that everything's going to go well. Or we're too sick, or someone we love is too injured. We're human. We get caught up and are impacted by emotion. But what we do promise ourselves is, if I can't get clear on this myself, I'm going to reach out and talk to Hazel, I'm going to talk to Sharon, I'm going to talk to someone else who knows how to see the truth of me, even if I can't really feel it right now. So that's the tremendous advantage of prayer treatment. I believe that we are at a point where we have so much division, a lot of division being sown and popping up. And, it's not new really to the world. I mean, some things just seem worse and worse and worse. However, there have been worse and worse and worse things, even in our nation's history, given the worstness of that time period, and globally. And yet, if we believe that our God of our understanding is a God of goodness and of life and of love and of harmony, we make a difference just with our envisioning the reality we choose to see. How do we want it to be out there? How do we want it to be for our neighbors, for our loved ones, for ourselves? And that mind, it's like lighting one candle and another candle in a dark room. That mind and that person and that prayer and that affirmation and that knowing, before you know it, the room is completely illuminated, and it makes a difference in our outer world when we give it our attention and our love from our inner world. So what I'd like to ask you now is, this is just, it's almost a random affirmation, but I ran across this. I mean, it's not out of the Declaration of Principles, but it's about the uniqueness, the individualization, the perfection of self. So I just want to say it for you and see if you will declare it with me for yourselves. I am a unique and individual miracle of the universe. Let's do it again. I am a unique and individual miracle of the universe. I am a unique and individual miracle of the universe. Now, I have run across my niece years and years ago, and she goes, "Oh, Aunt Helen, miracles, only God can do miracles," And I'm like, okay, if you're stuck on that, work on it. Try to look in the mirror and say, "You little miracle, you. Why didn't I see this before? I see that sparkle in your eye. I see that divine radiance emanating from you." Who believes in miracles? I believe in miracles. Big ones, little ones, God doesn't care what size they are. I'm open to miracles, wherever they want to come, and anywhere in my life or in my world. So I just wanted to remind you, as I shared some of these things with you, and some of them which you may be willing to embrace and to play with and maybe take some classes about, read some more about it, to just realize what we believe and how we believe that nature of ourselves, our thoughts, our actions, our deeds, our words, how creative they are. And the more we're aware of the miracle that we are, and the more we have a deep desire to be of service, of help, of support in our world getting better, the more we can start to believe that we, in and of ourselves, are that unique, not only that unique individualization of God, but that unique miracle of the universe. So, I say to you, let's take a moment and close this and just anchor it. I give thanks for this moment of Godness, this moment of goodness, this time that we've spent together examining, learning more about these wonderful thoughts that Ernest Holmes found through his global travels and communication with leaders of so many other faiths, and studying in such detail and trying to condense and bring these things back to the Western world in ways that we could understand them more, understand the unique connection that we have, all people have. And he tried to put things together in a way that we could learn how to co-create our experience. And I just get God bumps when I think of that, because it is such a gift. Talk about a miracle. So I give thanks for knowing that each and every person here and watching from wherever they may be, that they are accepting that they are a miracle, that they are looking to see where they can spread their miracle in their lives and in their world. And we know that the world is as we choose it to be, and we can contribute to the vision that we desire. So I give thanks as I release this now, and also release perfect divine love, protection, guidance, support, abundance, harmony, and perfect health for each and every one of us. And I let it be, and please join me in anchoring it and accepting it by saying, "And so it is." So it is.